Hey, my name's Joseph, and today I wanted to talk to you about the concept of online lessons through Skype and how I teach Skype lessons, and if you're a student, generally what you can expect. One of the reasons I started this channel was to share some topics relating to both studying and teaching the piano. A few weeks ago, I started teaching lessons exclusively online through Skype, and this has been a great convenience for me, but also it reflects an interest that I currently am trying to pursue, which is this idea of online lessons and how can we teach solid lessons effectively over the internet when we're never going to actually meet the student. There's a couple of people that I've seen on YouTube doing this very well, but for the most part, this idea of online lessons seems to not have really taken off just yet. I expect that it'll be a lot more prominent in the years to come. I've been teaching online lessons for a couple of years now, and I've noticed a couple of really large advantages, ones that are absolutely worth getting into this for. The first advantage is convenience. Skype lessons are super convenient. All I have to do is walk downstairs and boot everything up, and I'm pretty much good to go. And same thing with a student. There's no traveling, there's no getting our books out of the car, or any of that. No traffic, no snow days, no sickness, unless you're too sick to actually teach or receive a lesson. It's very convenient, which leads to reliability and consistency, which is the most important thing, in my opinion, when it comes to studying the piano. The purpose of getting piano lessons, in my opinion, is to avoid, common errors that would otherwise waste your time, have somebody guide you through a series of assignments and keep you on track, keep you motivated, keep you accountable. So it's really important to receive consistent instruction if you're to stay motivated. And it does take, months and years of dedication to actually get really good on the piano. So you'll definitely need some instruction, in my opinion, if you're new to the instrument. Another advantage in Skype, which is not so obvious, is this idea of self-sufficiency. So I've noticed, because of the presence of lag and, just a little bit of lag, not enough to not be able to have a lesson, but there's just enough lag that I can't really do anything simultaneous with the student doing the same thing. We have to wait. The student will do something, then I'll do something, then the student will do something, then I'll do something. And it's kind of a back and forth, which means that I can't count for the student. I can't play my metronome for the student. That doesn't really translate over the internet. So the student's going to have to be able to do everything on their own. And while that might sound like an uncomfortable experience compared to just having a teacher do it for you, it develops musicianship, in my opinion, much more quickly, at least in terms of self-sufficiency. The idea of self-sufficiency interests me as a teacher because my ultimate goal for any student is to train them to, of course, learn whatever it is they want to learn, but at the same time also not need me, because I can't be everybody's teacher forever. At some point, you'll have to be able to do things without a teacher. For every student, my goal has always been to teach self-sufficiency and the ability to learn, the ability to do things on your own. It's the whole give a fish versus teach somebody how to fish metaphor. You could give fish in terms of, showing students specific pieces. Here, copy me, do this or that. But, if you just teach pieces, or if you're a student, you're just learning pieces, what do you have if you can't study piano anymore? Or what do you have when you're done? Just those pieces? Another approach would be to teach you how to learn pieces, which is slightly different. It involves learning the systems behind studying the piano. One of the most important systems would be counting out loud, and good note reading. I also wanted to talk about my setup a little bit and give you an idea of the kind of equipment that I'm using to teach Skype lessons. So as a student, you definitely don't need all of these things. Really, all you need as a student is a very reliable internet connection that you're pretty close to, especially if you're wireless, and a new or recent model laptop or tablet, something like that, maybe a good stand or mount so that you can get the camera in the sort of position facing the piano that you are currently seeing right now. By the way, if you study with me online, this is the view you'll actually see. This is the exact view that I use to teach. This is achieved with a nice webcam that's sitting on top of my computer. And then I have this microphone right here, which is capturing both my voice, but it's also facing this piano. Any other position of the microphone really doesn't capture a good blend of, my voice and the piano. So I've elected to have it on this side facing the piano. You also notice I'm wearing headphones. The reason why I wear headphones is because I can hear myself very well, but I can also hear the student much better than if I was listening through speakers, even if they're very good speakers. Because of the way that Skype and other telecommunication clients work, they will mute whoever's not talking so that the other person can hear, or they'll at least lower the volume. And so if you turn your volume up loud enough and the sound of the student comes through on the speakers, it'll sometimes create a little bit of a feedback loop, and using headphones eliminates that while also allowing you to hear, every detail in the most clear way possible. So I always wear headphones when I'm teaching online. Another thing I've invested in to make this possible is decent lighting around the piano, above the piano, and of course behind the camera so that you can see in very clear detail. Another cool thing about my setup is a high definition camera that I have above the piano. This is the top-down camera view that I use to teach more complicated topics or things that I need to show in greater detail, or if I'm teaching younger students, or really anybody that just needs this level of clarity where they need to see, every individual note, everything really broken down. I find that a top-down camera view is really the best way to achieve that. To demonstrate this, I'll play a little Bergmuller arabesque, which is a pretty common intermediate level piece. Usually when I'm teaching this piece, I'll train a student how to count out loud using the 16th note or the 8th note or some kind of combination of that. So I can do it two ways here. I can do 16th notes, which is probably right when they first start learning, which would sound like this. 1 E and a 2 E and a 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 1 E 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a. And then when they're ready, they can move on to the 8th note. 1 and 2 and 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 1, 2 and 1 and 2 and. And then finally, when they're ready to play more of a performance tempo, they'll feel the quarter note instead. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and so on. I hope this has been helpful in getting an idea of how I teach and what it might be like to study with me. I think it's helpful to see the camera angles and actually, hear me talk, hear me play, so that you have a better idea of what I'm all about. If this looks appealing to you, if you're interested in learning how to read music and play piano and perhaps work up to and through classical music, I hope you will give Skype lessons with me a try. My students all seem to really love it, and I've had most of them for a pretty long time. I have some new students as well. And of course, I'm looking for more, so that's one of the reasons I'm making this video. I would also appreciate it if you would like this video and if you would subscribe to this channel, because I will be talking more about these sorts of topics. I'll be making tutorials on how to play certain pieces similar to the arabesque that I showed you. I will also be talking about teaching piano, and especially teaching piano online. I am very happy to explain my setup in more detail, tell you exactly what cameras and microphones and everything that I'm using. And I'm not interested in hiding this. I'm happy to help other teachers get their start as well, because this is just an awesome way to share the gift of music and to help people realize their talents. One more thing, if you have a question or a comment, I would encourage you to leave one below, and I'll be very happy to answer it. If the comment or question is something that I can do a video on, that's just the sort of thing I'm looking for. Otherwise, I'm happy to simply answer your question or comment. That's it for this video. I will see you guys next time. Bye.